I'm going to call this meeting to order. We'd like to recognise that the meeting is being held on the traditional territory of the Lillooet Nation. We have a motion to approve the agenda for this with Director Mack, second to the Mayor, Bruce, motion carries. Number 3, Electoral Area Directors Committee closed meeting. We do not have one today, so we will not be rising and reporting. Number 5, consent agenda. We have a motion to approve that case. So moved. That's the Mayor. Opposed? The motion carries. Is there any business arising from the minutes? Hearing none, we go on to staff reports and other business. 7.1 CAO verbal update, emergency services update.
Thank you, everyone. Just getting it, my notes. Okay, so just a couple of updates on what's going on this summer, what we discussed at the last EAD meeting. One of them is about Place Glacier. It's been drained for the season. There's currently no risk of outburst flood. Contracted to subject matter experts and found no potential flood or landslide risk associated with fall precipitation. Next spring, once again, this will repeat itself. There'll be a new outburst flood. Ministry of Emergency Management and Climate Readiness did approve funds for the SLRD to conduct a broader public safety study of hazards related to Place Glacier, which will include the development, this is great news, of long-term mitigation options for consideration. So instead of just responding each year, something that'll prevent it. And wildfire, this past week, you might have noticed this weekend, a large number of lightning strikes caused wildfires, especially in electoral areas C and D. Most were quickly put out by BC Wildfire Service, or they were self-extinguished by the rain that some of the areas experienced. As of yesterday, there were 8 out of control wildfires in the Coastal Fire Center Pemberton zone. As of yesterday, 0 active wildfire in the Kamloops Fire Central Lillooet zone. Local BC Wildfire Service crews have been very busy, but they've also been really well resourced and have been managing and hitting them as they come up. Even though some wildfires are visible from populated areas, as of yesterday, no wildfire threats in SLRD communities. BC Wildfire Services website is still your most up-to-date place for information, and we always share that on the SLRD Facebook pages, and you can look it up on the BC Wildfire Service page.
I have a question. Do we know anything about the fire close to Squamish right now?
BC Wildfire Service would be your best resource for that information. We can discuss that.
I don't know if it's in Area D or if it's in Squamish, but the sound is full of smoke.
Yeah, it is full of smoke from those fires, and I believe they are in Area D. But again, my direction from all staff and from everyone is BC Wildfire Service is our best source, so we can look that up together and provide that information.
If you haven't used the BC Wildfire app yet, use it. Get it on your phone, your tablet, wherever. It is amazing the improvements they've made over last year. They got the smoke layer. They got a whole bunch of different layers, and you can click on all these different layers to what you really want. And any of the wildfires, of course, they've got all the full details on them. Just click on the dot, and everything's there you ever want to know.
Thank you.
We're still in a very, very high risk scene with, like, the temperature is supposed to be 38 degrees this afternoon, and it's tinder dry. The shrubs are all dying, the trees look desiccated, and the spark is just, all our fire guys are a little anxious, but they're ready. It's been a very, very long season.
Okay, so motion to receive CEO's report.
So moved.
Mayor, Mac, opposed, nobody. Motion carries. 7.2, request for decision notice on title construction contrary to building law regulations, UGE area C. Please join us. Go ahead.
Good morning. Good morning, everyone. My name is Harshan Dollywell, building official for the Squamish-Lillooet Regional District. With me is Laura Starr, planning and building clerk. Just a reminder, a notice on title or section 57 of the community charter was provided to local governments by the province of British Columbia as a tool to administer and enforce the BC Building Code and local building bylaws. A notice on title serves as a public warning to potential buyers, creditors, or other stakeholders that the property may be in breach of bylaws or regulations. It also encourages voluntary compliance with bylaws and regulations to reduce risk to the local government. Once a notice on title has been filed, it can be removed once the non-compliance is brought back into compliance. The property owner has the opportunity to speak today. The property owner must be on the property title or agent authorization must be provided. A request for decision. I am open to answer any questions the committee may ask.
Thank you.
I'll move that we put the notice on title on this property as recommended by staff.
I'll second it.
Second. Any other comments or questions? Full question in favor? Opposed? So none, the motion carries. Thank you. Now, let's. Next one. So now we have Donegan and Bingham in area C.
Request for decision. I am open to answer any questions the committee may ask.
Any questions?
No, I'll move this as staff recommends.
I'll second it.
Next to the mayor.
So option one.
I assume you made option. The first option, did you? Where is it? Oh.
On page 27.
Can you read out what you're moving, Russell? I can't find it on here.
Pardon me?
Can you just read out?
Oh, okay, so option one is preferred option. File a section 57 community charter notice in the land title office with respect to this property, for the property. The property owner may apply to have the notice removed once the contravention has been resolved.
Thank you. All in favor? Those seeing none, motion carries. Thank you, and now we move on to Renshaw in area C.
Request for a decision. I'm open to answer any questions the committee may ask.
Questions?
Nope, and I'll move this to as option one. So that is preferred option and it's filed as section 57 community charter notice in the land title office with respect to the property. The property owner may apply to have the notice removed once the contraventions have been resolved.
So I'll second that.
Any comments? No question, all in favor? Those motion carries. You? Oh, sorry, Angela.
No, that's great. For the next one, I'm just going to let the property owner into the meeting.
Oh,
They will be attending
which is
virtually.
7.5, area A. Recruit. Will we be able to see her or?
It's up to them whether or not they're going to turn on their camera. But you can move ahead with introducing the item. They're in the meeting.
They're in the meeting, okay. So we have a request for decision notice on title.
Mr. Chairman,
come from?
Hi there.
They're just coming.
Can you see us?
Oh, we can, yes, thank you. I'm just moving into this item. Where was I? Construction contrary to building law, bylaw regulations, Anderson and Buntain, area A, and please.
Request for decision. I'm open to answer any questions the committee may ask.
Any questions from?
I have no questions.
Ms. Buntain, would you like to say something? Or do you have any questions for us?
Well, I just wanted to make sure that you received the sort of the summary that Charlie had sent up.
We sent a written submission in. Ms. Scar didn't receive it. Didn't receive our email that was sent on Monday, and we just resent it this morning. So I don't know if she's had a chance to either provide a copy to you in paper or otherwise. So it's headed 259 Young Road construction timeline, and it goes through the progress of the construction since the initial building permit was issued and the issues we've had to face.
Did you receive it? By chance?
Do we have,
So I did receive that via email just before the meeting. However, I spoke with Angela.
Yes.
I can speak to that, thank you. As the correspondence was received just this morning, right prior to the meeting, we were unable to distribute it to the members with appropriate time in which to review it. However, there is an opportunity for you as the property owners to speak to that in the meeting if the chair would allow it.
Okay.
My suggestion is that the this application be adjourned so that the members have an opportunity to read our written submission. It was sent to Ms. Scar Monday afternoon around 2:00, and I have no reason to know why it wasn't received. I spoke to her this morning because I hadn't received a Zoom notification. She sent me a test email that worked. I sent her, I resent her the material that was sent on Monday. And it's very unfortunate, but I think the matter should not proceed without people having a chance to look at our detailed summary of our position and our request for a 1-year deferment. If you'd like, I can go through it orally with you.
yes,
That's
I
your
think.
preference. Okay, so no one has a copy of this.
you want to read it?
Just no, go to the back.
I would
Yes.
prefer if we postpone this to the next EAD meeting.
It's really your decision. I can run through this orally. It will take about
Excuse
15
me,
minutes.
excuse me, just a moment, is, Director DeBette, is that a motion?
It's a motion.
So the motion is to defer this to the next EAD meeting, seconded, yeah, I'm coming there, seconded by Director Max, so we've got a motion on the floor. Sige,
Motion on the floor, usually staff don't speak, but I just wanted to point out that new this month, the last option is reflective of what the EADs had requested, which is that we have the option that there is a delay. The EADs have requested a 6-month delay to give the chance for property owners to shore up problems, and at which point the motion also allows for a movement towards notice on title without it coming back to the board. Just wanted to point that out as a
yeah, no, thank you,
request.
that's a timely reminder, I just want to know if we'll consider that.
No, I want to stand with what I just, with my motion. Bring it back so we have time to read.
Okay, so procedural question here, I deferred something to the next meeting previously, and it was like, nothing at all happened, it just came up again at the next meeting. So is there a way that we should be wording this to allow for some more information? I just want to make sure we're not missing an opportunity here.
Can we add to the motion that
Yeah.
this email be distributed?
Yeah.
Okay. Does that make sense to you? And that is a slightly different approach to,
Yeah, without
we,
seeing it,
it's not
I
fair
can't,
to
I
proceed.
can't, I can't make a decision, and I don't wanna make that 6-month deferral. I wanna see what their comments are.
So, okay. See,
Recommendation for the motion, just to simplify things and make it very thorough for the board, which would be that the report coming to the board next month would include that the new information received.
That's the intent of all this.
yeah. So, I was just gonna ask Andrew if she has a wording for the motion. Could you just read it out to us?
That the notice on title be deferred to the next meeting of the EAD in October, and the staff report to include the correspondence received from the property owner.
Okay. Yes, please, go ahead.
We do provide property owners with a minimum of 30 days written notice previous to EAD. So to do that, it would be November that could next come back to the EAD unless we're happy with the verbal notice currently.
We're happy with verbal notice.
Are you, the motion we have on the floor is that we defer this for, and to allow the committee a chance to read your submission. And the problem for us is that to have it at the next month, we need written notification to you. We're asking you, would you accept verbal notification
Yeah.
today?
Yes, we would.
You. Director Needham.
Thank you. We do have a working policy to not bring reports to the board November and December. Actually, are we bringing one in November? Laura, we do have one for November. Yeah, it's December. Sorry. So this would hit in November because of the timing. If we were to bring it back.
Why, when you say because of the timing, the applicants have agreed to accept a verbal notification today, which would meet our requirements, would it not?
I think we'll have to look at the act because I do believe that we are meant to, anytime it comes to the EAD, it has to have notifications to near neighbors. So there'll have to be a whole new notification process.
October 8th.
October the 8th. I believe we've got 30 days. The meeting in October is not until the 8th. Would that not give us time?
Thank you. We also have to prepare the meeting minutes a week in advance, and the staff need to prepare those notices to the neighbors. So we've tried to work this within 30 days in the past, and it's been relentlessly difficult. Due to the
So
legislation.
make it for the November meeting.
We're okay with November.
I thank you for agreeing to do it in October, but staff tell me that they can't get it done by then. So it will have to be November.
Okay,
Thank you.
Okay, no. We have a motion, mentioned November, we're okay now. Yeah, I'll call a question, all in favor? Opposed, no, motion carries. Okay, thank you for joining us this morning. You be assured that we will be seeing that submission that you sent in, and it will be on the November agenda. So
Okay.
we'll see you then. Thank you.
Thank you.
thank you. Appreciate that.
Okay, let's move along. Oh, 7.6. Select funds report. Thank you very much. Thank you. Morning, Colin.
Good morning, everyone.
Do you have anything to say to us, or you're just gonna handle questions?
Just good morning, and then if you have any questions, I can answer those.
Okay. Over to you guys. Any questions?
Which agenda item we working on?
7.6. Select funds report.
I don't have any.
I do not have any questions.
Really?
Thank you.
Oh. Director Mac?
No, I'm fine, thank you.
Oh, wait a minute, then, we got this is, let me think, what can I say here? No, I'm actually fine as well. Thank you very much, so we need a motion to receive. Moved, seconded, all in favour, opposed, motion carries, so we have second quarter financials, EAD services, and again, we have someone here for that. Where are we on this one?
I'll just give a quick highlight. Obviously, the Q2 financials run from January to June 30th. For the EAD services, just the main item of note would be building inspections and building inspection revenue. I know I mentioned this in Q1, and in Q2, revenues are still trending just a little bit below budget. Currently, they're at 35% of our annual budget. However, expenses are also slightly below budget or on pace with budget, so we'll continue to monitor that as the year goes along. In terms of the other services, everything is on budget for the EAD services, including emergency planning, which has 51% of budget remaining. So if there's any questions about specific items in the financials, I'm happy to answer them or.
Well, we just to have a quick session on the reserve for the building inspection. Is it?
So what is the
Building inspection?
So in
For the reserves, because we used some last year. And the minimum required for 2 months operating is 124,000.
right,
And it looks like in the budget it's 305,000.
so to begin 2025, we had $366,000 in the
Yeah.
reserve. We budgeted that we would use $154,000 in 2025. And so far in Q2, we've used 61,000 of the 154,000, which brings the current reserve balance to 305.
Okay. So if this stays on pace at that 35% of income, do we foresee using all that up and more?
Well, we would only be able to use up to the 154,000 that we budgeted. But the way things are trending, we may use a majority of those of those reserve funds that we budgeted. And then if we did have a deficit, we would look to allocate more in 2026's budget. So that would come back to the EAD
That's the board and next year's
budget discussion, so we could just determine how to deal with a deficit if it did occur.
Okay, thank you.
Any other questions?
I have one, but it's really more operational. I just saw that under exhibit 3006, area B, regional parks and trails. I know our invasive species people in area B were gonna do some work on the Anderson Lake Park, and they were working with Shalaf on that. That's kind of last year's news, and it kept being pushed forward. So I see that 5,000, I'm on page 69 of the package. It's when it says operations, I just, there's also considerable money still sitting there. that we've been chipping away at for that park. The next steps around that, could I ask for some sort of an update before the board meeting, perhaps, you know?
So you said this page number, but unfortunately I'm getting different page numbers than
Oh.
you have. Can you give me what the heading is?
I'm just looking at Area B, Regional Parks and Trails budget. And it's not really a financial question, it just brought the operational question back up to me.
Okay, well, what we can do is talk offline. If it's a report that would be worthy for the whole EAD, we can bring it by our update to the, or if it's a quick one, we can just discuss.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay with that? All right,
Yes.
so if there are no more questions, I'd like a motion to receive this. Right, so move. Mayor, in favor, motion carries, thank you very much. And you've got 7.8 request for decision, Canada Community Building Fund, Community Works Fund, project funding request.
Great, this report is a request to allocate some Area D community works funds towards the feasibility study about combining the Pinecrest and Black Tusk water systems. This project was proposed by UES. And if there's any questions, I'm happy to answer them, but UES can maybe answer some of the technical ones if there's any on that side.
My questions have been answered about this, I'm prepared to move this. I guess just the one that. So I'll move that. Second by Director Mack. Has anybody else got any questions or comments? No? Okay, then I'll call the question. All in favour? Opposed? None. Motion carries. Thank you very much.
Great, thank you.
Where are we at now?
7.9.
Yeah, who's going to speak about that? 7.9. She is. Okay, go ahead.
Thanks. Good morning, it's Suzanne Franz, Director of Finance. Sorry. This is a request for a decision about updating the board policy for the Federal Gas Tax Fund Community Works Funds. And this is board policy number 26, but it's being referred to the EAD before going to the board. So this is just my suggestions for updating the board policy to follow the new agreement. So basically the new agreement, which is changed names from Federal Gas Tax Fund to Canada Community Building Fund, was signed at the end of 2024, I believe, September, but the agreement is in effect as of April 1st. So I listed all of the changes in this report that I've done to this board policy. The first change was updating every instance of federal gas tax funds and using the new naming convention of Canada Community Building Fund. The second was updating the Community Works Fund agreement between UBCM and the SLRD to the new one just signed, which was the 2024 to 2034 Community Works Fund agreement. So this new agreement ends in 2034. It's a 10-year agreement. And then updated the third-party portions of the policy due to UBCM enforcing more strict guidelines for third-party Community Works Fund projects. So basically in the agreement, it states that they're meant for traditional services of a local government. So traditional services of the SLRD. It can be owned by a third-party organization, but preferably as a service of the SLRD because it has to be within the financial plan of the SLRD. And also because UBCM will have new asset management requirements coming. Right now, they have a committee building those asset management requirements. And I forget what the committee is called actually, but there's a committee set up with different representations. And so those asset management responsibilities will fall to us. And if we don't own the infrastructure, it might be very difficult to get these done, and also who will pay. It'll cause a little bit of excess work, basically, if we don't own or have direct control on of the infrastructure. So I basically added also clarity that a third party organization can be a First Nations community. So they could own the infrastructure, but hopefully with a shared service with the SLRD. And the next change was stating that the community works funds are meant for the benefit of the electoral area residents. That does include First Nations communities too, but and then the next one was basically it's ideally a service of the SLRD. Sorry, I already mentioned that, but I'm just going through my numbers here. And that third-party projects be reviewed by myself or Colin, Deputy Director of Finance, just to confirm eligibility now that there's some new rules around third parties. And I added a new requirement to see the third party's annual financial statements, the most recent, just to ensure that they can do the work. And clarified that Community Works Fund's contribution agreement needs to be signed between the third party and the SLRD before the works are undertaken. And we have a Community Works Fund agreement already ready for third parties or for local governments with legal review as well. And that's just the agreement side of things. And then we've also updated the Community Works Fund eligible categories as is listed in the new agreement with UBCM. Updated that feasibility studies and detailed design projects are now eligible under all infrastructure categories as standalone projects, where previously they had to be in coordination with an actual infrastructure build. And updated the allowable capacity building projects, because those also expanded to housing reports. There was a couple of new additions that you'll see in the actual policy. And updated Schedule A, which is the Community Works Fund project application form. So just with the new categories. And so basically the new category changes were they changed disaster mitigation to resilience and kind of opened that up a little bit to all kind of climate change issues as well. They updated the fire hall to include standalone fire truck purchases. So I added that. I think that was the only changes for the actual categories. I added in the report the ineligible Community Works Funds services and investments and specific costs, just because it's easier to do that than try to put everything that's eligible. And I'll open up to any questions.
Questions? I have one, but go ahead, Director.
Thank you. On the third party, I'll take an example of Draylor Main Street. When the sewer line project was initiated, they had to dig up the road to do the wastewater, the main line on it, and it's a paved road. And the original project had it that the SLRD would pay the cost of repairing their portion of the road that needed repaving. The road needed repaving to start with, but it just made it worse. So that's the way it is right now. It's still like that. And as far as the third party, would the provincial government be a third party?
I don't,
Because it does list roads.
yeah, I'd have to double check. Because regional districts obviously don't own roads traditionally, municipalities definitely would have that ability. So we probably would have to double check with UBCO. Just
So,
to
yeah.
verify for sure.
So in terms of a third party, then what we're looking at is at nonprofit organizations.
Yes, yeah. And preferably a shared service or service that we have on our financial statements.
Yeah. And that also goes for the Hurley FSR or Service Road. You know, it's also through the Ministry of Forests. You know, I've been asked a few times, why don't you put some money into it? Why doesn't the SOD put some money into it? So I know Area 8 gets very little in the works funds compared to the other electoral areas. So, but it'd just be interesting to know if the various ministries that we have, if they're considered a third party.
I'll definitely check that.
Yeah,
That's a
thank
good
you.
question.
I had a question about, in the key information, you have the statement, community works funds, although tracked on an area-specific basis, can be used to support projects for any area within the SLRD. I kind of, from what your comments just a few minutes ago, you suggested that they were spent in the electoral areas. I'd kind of like that word added in there, electoral, because our board reading that right now could interpret that any area, and therefore we'd like to spend some money in Squamish or Whistler. And I would be opposed to that. I think this is supposed to be money for the electoral areas. So I think if you support projects for any electoral area within the SLRD, that's all it would need. And then
Yeah, to specify the electoral area, like
well,
it is an electoral area, not
yeah,
just anywhere.
yeah, and then if there's some request to spend money in area A and take the money from B, C, and D, then we can debate that and come to a decision on it. So I won't want to muddy the waters by getting into spending money in municipalities.
That did happen after the wildfire.
Yeah. And
Yeah, Director Mack gracefully gave 30,000 of his to the
yeah,
Minto Communications.
I certainly wouldn't want to prevent that from happening.
Yeah.
I want it clear that it's electoral area directors, electoral areas that receive the money.
So I can add in before. It's all of the Squamish, I should say for the electoral areas of the Squamish.
Yes. Perfect, thank you. Any,
I have a couple.
go ahead.
Thank you. Under the policy statement, right at the beginning. We've got intended to be directed to local projects, blah, blah, blah. Oh, it's the next paragraph. A third-party organization, which can be local government, a nonprofit organization, BC Transit, in some limited circumstances, may even be considered for a nonprofit entity. I wondered if, like, First Nations aren't mentioned there, but they're mentioned farther along in the document. Is that something that should be included in that policy statement
It is there.
under local government?
Yeah, so if
Okay.
you look at the attachment 3, I'm not sure if you're looking at attachment 1. Attachment 1 is the original policy, attachment 3 is the amended. And so I did add First Nations in there, yeah.
You're quite right, yeah,
You've got-
you're quite right. Thank you, so let me see if my other comments are also. So just double checking, so what I'm reading, there's quite a bit of interest in active transportation around Lillooet and into Area B. And if I'm reading this correctly, a feasibility study would be eligible under that category.
Yeah, but for shared service of the SLRD,
Right. Let me check my last one, make sure I'm looking at the right document. No, I really like it that the feasibility studies are allowed in all categories now, so thank you. That's it for me, Chair. Mabel.
Okay. Anything else? A motion to receive this report? So, no, I need something else. Oh,
Sorry, just clarity on this. The committee has provided some updates for staff in which to follow up on.
right.
Are you wanting the policy to come back to the committee with the changes, or would you like to provide staff with the opportunity to make the changes and then also provide a recommendation that the board approve the policy with the changes?
That would be a good motion, wouldn't it?
Okay.
Yeah, so so then you have noted the changes we would like. So I guess I would like a motion that says that we recommend that staff make the changes and then the report be referred to the board. Is that?
So we can do two. So the first one I have, and the second one that it be recommended to the regional board, that the amended policy be approved.
So that's all one motion?
Those are going to be two motions.
Two motions.
So first motion is that staff make the changes as provided with the feedback and comments of the
Got it.
committee.
Perfect. So we have that motion on the floor. Now let's move to seconded here, and I'll call the question. All in favour? Motion is approved, carried. And the second one is that we recommend that the amended policy could be referred to the board. Yes, yeah.
That it be recommended to the regional board that it be approved, yes.
I can do that be approved. Don, you think I'm wording right? Okay, moved by Director May. Would you like to say?
I'd like to
Seconded by Director Jones. Call the question, all in favour? Opposed, seeing none, motion carries.
Thanks.
Very good. Thank you very much. Now we're going to Britannia Beach. Sun, shelter and bench.
Hello, everyone. I'm
Would you agree?
Bree, Parks and Trails Coordinator. This report is asking for $3,500 to be allocated to the Britannia Beach Parks and Trails Cost Center from the Electoral Area D Recreational Facilities Amenities Fund to support the remaining expenses from the Britannia Beach Playground Sun Shelter project and the construction of a new bench inside that sun shelter. Happy to take questions if you have any.
Well, again, I know about this, I can fully consulted, I approve of the expenditures. This pretty well caps everything for the playground, is it? We're done with the whole lot?
It'll never end.
We just got the actual building permit finally completed.
We did.
Right here,
Signed off by Hard
I'm
John.
gonna frame it.
Yeah,
We don't have the money yet.
well,
Two separate things.
Yeah.
That's good. Yeah, thank you. So I'll move that.
I'll second it.
Second it. Any questions of staff? Any further comments? And I'll call the question in favour. Opposed, seeing none, motion carries. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okay, number 8.1. Outbound biosphere recognition bronze plaques. Up to $1,000 we allocated from Area D select funds to support the installation of a third bronze sign commemorating the housebound biosphere recognition. This third one took a heck of a long time to get to, relying on volunteer work, which saved us probably $2,000 to $2,500. But it took a long time for the guy to get organized with the machines and the labor that he needed, and I've ended up being a little short. It won't be $1,000, but I'm not sure exactly how much. It maybe be 5 or 6. So it's like approval for up to 1,000 and any expenditures will be by invoice sent directly to finance. So I'll move that. Seconded. Any questions? Any further clarification needed? If you're down in Ferry Creek, if you walk along the seawall and go out onto the spit where our viewing platform is, you'll see one of the plaques right there. And if you wanted to go to the South Beach to where we have the flagpole and the toilets, and you'll see the other one or a second one there. And if you're in Britannia Beach, the easiest way to find it is if you go to the children's playground, and you'll see it mounted on the wall close to there. And each one has a text that is appropriate to the location. And they're intended to stay there for a long time. That's why they're bronze plaques. And Ruth Simons was out looking at them yesterday and she was very happy with them. There we are. Call question? All in favour? Opposed? Motion carries. Okay, what's the time? 11:30. Jeez, we're whistling through this. 9.1, request for funding. Everton District Healthcare Foundation Golf Tournament.
Yeah, I'd like to move that Area C sponsors the $2,000 sponsorship, which I believe is is that the Birdie one? Okay. And that'll come from Area C amenity, select funds?
Well, if it's the Bergen one, I thought it would come from Area B, but Area C select,
Area C
and
selected.
that's what you're moving?
Yeah.
I'll second that. Any questions for anybody? Any comments? Further comments?
So any golf tickets, passes that come are for staff? Right, so you can do the normal procedure.
Okay, cool question. All in favour? None, motion carries. 9.2, Lillooet Animal Advocate Society, LAS. There we go. Would you like to speak to that?
I think the first request is Area A.
Oh, is it? Oh, sorry, it is. I beg your pardon.
And similar one to B.
Yeah.
That society, they also participate in the wildfire roundtables that we have,
Yeah.
correct? And they do a lot of work with not only what this does, but also with during wildfires. You know, with for all the various animals.
Actually, Director Demare, I'm gonna correct you on that because that was CDART that was at our wildfire roundtable.
Oh,
But
okay.
they work with Lillooet Animal Advocacy Society, but it was CDART that really did the bulk of the work.
Okay.
Just so you know.
Anyway, I wanna support this program for our area, so I'll move. Their $1,000 from select funds.
Okay. You seconding that?
I'll second that,
Yeah.
but could I also add in? I've talked to Vivian about this. They were requesting or gonna request money from Area C because there is animals being sheltered or looked after from Darcy and from Lillooet. At first I thought, well, we already put money into PAWS, our area thing here, which supports that. But if there's animals going from Darcy and from like Lillooet to this organization, then I'd like to put $1,000 from Area C Select Funds towards it. Because I think that's just the right thing to do.
But we've got a motion right now.
Yeah.
That's a comment, I'll take that's a comment for
Yeah.
a moment. CEO,
And just a clarification prior to that motion, when you have a chance, but you can discuss the current motion first.
let's deal with this
Yeah,
one
let's-
motion
okay, yeah.
first. Any comments or questions on that? Call the question, any opposed? Motion carries. Okay. As a matter of procedure, can we add that in, add Russell's motion in?
Now that this has been carried, if you can add, the committee can make another motion to allocate additional funds from area C, if they would like to as a.
So as part of 9.2.
That's 9.2.
Okay.
So just a clarification, Director Mack, you mentioned just getting would you like to get confirmation of the animals that are being supported through area C
No.
with a letter, or just do it? Okay.
Okay, so the motion now is that $1,000 come from area C select funds to support the services and educational outreach initiatives of LAAS.
Yeah.
Okay,
I'll second that.
seconded by Director Mayor. Any questions? Question, opposed, none, motion carries. Thank you. So now we go to 9.3.
And that's area B, a bigger request for $6,000. So I support this request from area B select funds to support Lillooet Animal Advocacy Society for their cost for program services and educational outreach initiatives. I'll move that.
Seconded by Director Mike. Any questions? No question, opposed? Motion carries. I would like to make a comment or float a question with you guys. When I read this, I started thinking of PAWS, WAGs,
Yes.
and the SPCA, and I thought we've got different organizations with similar goals. And I wonder if there's a role for us to perhaps have a little conference that we invite these organizations to come to. They're all asking us for money in one way or another. And just, I don't know whether conference is the right word, but just talk about how they can work together, how financing could happen, and then perhaps to find one of them, like the SPCA would be perhaps the leader, somebody that would maintain some communication between the organizations.
They definitely do work together.
They do. It's
Oh,
not-
yeah,
not needed
absolutely.
then?
Yeah.
It's not needed. Is that
Pardon me?
right? We don't need to do anything, is that?
I don't think we do.
Oh, okay.
I agree.
Yeah.
They work hand in glove.
Okay.
For at least that's my
Yeah.
observation.
Yeah, I didn't know that when I read this.
Yeah.
I didn't know that, so that's why I raised the question. But that's fine then. I'm glad they do work together. And we've got decision on additional late business. Do we have any additional late business? No. Get into late business, funding Gun Lake Ratepayers Association, post-fire water quality testing on Gun Lake and watershed.
Yes, the Gun Lake Rapier Association, back right after the wildfire, prior to the wildfire, they were doing 2 sites, so they actually started collecting data on the water quality at the lake, on Gun Lake, not the Joy Lake. And that actually helped after the wildfire when we got the funding to do 9 different points on the lake and in Little Gun Lake to capture where the water was coming in on Penrose Creek and Walker Creek and then 7 other points. And they want to emulate that this time. This past spring, we had anyway, we had organic growth coming up. It was actually coming up through the ice on the west side. The year before, I had it on my shoreline.
Is that-
and I'm away from it.
is that-
That was all the nutrients that were brought into the lake.
Ah,
So, that they wanna do a full test again, and that's what this funding is for. So I'd like to move that. $9,825 from electoral aid select funds to support post-wildfire water quality testing on Gun Lake and in the Gun Lake watershed.
Okay, seconded by Director Ladd. Does anybody have any questions?
I see, Cascade Environmental is giving you a little bit of a break in the costing. This is really important work. I wondered if we should contribute some money from general select towards this. I didn't,
Well, I'm fine.
okay, you're good with it? I would like to see the province do this work, but I respect that you're doing it and that's very important. So I support your motion.
Question, favor? Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. Any notices of the motion? This meeting be adjourned. Thank you. Your presence. Thank you.
Motion to adjourn.
Oh, you make a motion to adjourn? Okay. I won't declare it, and I'll make a motion that we adjourn.
I would like to move that we adjourn this meeting.
I just moved that. You can second it.
I'll second.
Oh, I'll
Yeah,
second.
there we go. Any opposed?